Let's move on to the second panel. It will be chaired by a popular YouTuber, comedian, out of the Matrix thinker, author, Marxist-Leninist, our very own Peter Coffin.
Good afternoon. I am very excited to be here at the Center for Political Innovation Summit Against Hypocrisy. We have a lot more fantastic speakers coming up. I'm really excited for you to hear from everybody. We're going to talk about democracy at home, or rather the lack thereof it. On March 29th, the Biden administration is going to co-host the second Summit for Democracy. You are all aware of this. This is why we are here. The U.S. is truly the Johnny Appleseed of democracy, isn't it? Planting democracy seeds all over the planet. Sorry, I meant heat-seeking missiles. That's the real democracy we're out there for. Because you acknowledge other people have different opinions, and then you airstrike them. But we could talk about the U.S. spreading democracy all day, and we will tomorrow, so please come back. But we also have to remember that Donald Trump got elected with the slogan, "Make America Great Again." Then Biden got elected with his version, Build Back Better. That's also about making America great again, but it's a little less distinct as an abbreviation. When somebody says MAGA as a word, you know immediately what they're about. When somebody tries to say "buh-buh-buh" as a word, you kind of think they're trying to sing the George Thorogood and the Destroyers' classic song, "Bad to the Bone." Do you want to hear my Biden impression? Yes. Build Back Better. Corn Pop was a bad dude. He was going to say something different. Point is that both of them saw that rebuilding was an appealing message. They saw people are hurting here in America's hollowed-out shell of what was once a productive economy. And both of them saw that they could take that pain and exploit the hell out of it. That's really what presidential politics is all about, isn't it? Finding a group of people in dire need, convincing them that you're the only one that can solve their problems, and then immediately ignoring them like the check engine light on your car's dashboard. Yeah, that thing isn't going away without some attention, but the president bought this car for a song on Craigslist. The fact it runs at all is amazing. The U.S. really does need maintenance, though. All the American people, we don't want to let this country just rot around us either. Take the Ohio train derailments. Making that situation great again requires skilled workers, resources, and funding. And I promise you, people are eager to help. But this system, it's one where you have to pay those people, and I'm not calling them greedy. It's just that volunteer work, it only lasts so long. The movie wasn't 12 years of volunteer, was it? And it would be hard enough if the rail tracks were publicly owned. I don't know if any of you have ever been part of trying to push a city to fix something, but one of their biggest hurdles is limited municipal budgets. But getting a private railroad company to fix the tracks is like trying to take a selfie with a squirrel. It would be cool, but it's not going to happen. They don't stand still. The problem is not new either. It goes decades and decades back. In 1961, there were 3 train derailments that happened in a span of 2 weeks. There's a horrible pun incoming. I'm warning you all of this. You might say that private rail companies in East Palestine have a bad track record. They didn't just fail at keeping the trains on the tracks, either they failed at keeping money in the bank. For decades, these companies had to keep filing for bankruptcy and selling off the rails to another company instead of actually fixing them. And just like any game of hot potato, you don't want to be the one that's left holding the bag. Unfortunately for Norfolk Southern, they've been holding it since 1999. And if only that was the one public safety crisis going on. The opioid crisis that began in the 1990s is still happening. 15% of households with children are experiencing what the U.S. Department of Agriculture so tastefully calls food insecurity. There are massive disparities in access to and quality of healthcare, and people are becoming more and more socially isolated. Now, I like to joke around, but none of that's funny. The social isolation is actually probably one of the worst problems, too. In all seriousness, the less people are around each other, exchanging information, nurturing their communities, and realizing that they are not alone, the harder it is to overcome the hypocrisy at the top. And that is why I am very happy to see all of you here. That, and it would look stupid if I was saying this in front of like 6 or 7 people. So genuinely, thank you all.